of Yahweh. Okay, so I will read again. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which should feed you with knowledge and understanding. See, that's the knowledge and understanding. The heavenly Father that He gave to His prophets. And it begins with the 144,000 men that He set up to preach His gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, so I just want to get that. Now, Isaiah 55, verse 11. So shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth for the prophets, right? For the pastors, his pastors. It shall not return unto me void. So these prophecies is going to come to pass, okay? That's what it says here. For the prophecy that his word is going to go out throughout. His word is going to go throughout the four corners of the earth, throughout the four corners of the earth, by the prophets. And we're going to wake up the Israelites, and also you, the nation, is going to witness the word also. There's a video I'm about to show it to show you that the nations coming to the terms of in his word that, as the brother say, Esau paid good money for this truth to remain hidden. So as you said right here, he's hidden, understand prophecy. Okay, so his word is not, it won't, it, and it shall, and it, like, it shall not return to me void. And these prophecies are going to come to pass. And it's like a loop. All right. And now people is waking up. So certain people are seeing what's going on. And how they recognize it? Through the prophets. Because we call it out. The devil for his wickedness. You know. And now people in these prophets start to, as you say, well, we continue reading. But it shall accomplish that which is pleased, and it should not, and it shall prosper in the things whereto I sent it. And that's what these people are seeing. Okay? They're hearing the prophets prophesying, and now they're saying that these, what we're prophesying about is coming to pass. And making these people curious. What they're talking about is really happening. Let me go do my little research. And now some of these Edomites and heathen coming to realization like, oh, they are the children of Yahweh Shemashah. Okay? Children of what they do. So, yeah, man. So this word is going out, man. All right? And that's by brothers going out on the highways and byways preaching. And I get this here and I'm going to show the video. Go to Matthew. Okay, you know, start with us going out to the highways and byways. But then also the internet is due to heavy lifting. You know, I put my guess on that. I think about 90% of the truth getting out through the internet. Right? Because those go on the highways, we go on the highways and byways and bring it out, but the internet is more a heavy lifting in this world. Now people is definitely paying attention, doing their research, and now they figured out that, hey, those niggas on the street corner ain't crazy. They are the chosen people of Yahweh by Hashem and Moshe. Okay, so I'm going to show this video. Say Matthew chapter 24, and verse 14, and start at 13. And it reads, these are the words of Yahweh. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. I'm speaking of the elect. But the elect is going to endure to the end. So all with them, I'm of that number. Right? Not just me, I always say, and to all the sisters out there, pushing this truth and pushing this truth, and they doing it in truth and sincerity. Okay? So he shall endure to the end. Okay? If we're going into some very evil times now, just to mention that. All right? Speaking of these, the words of the Heavenly Father won't go out void, you know, we in end time prophecy. Okay, Jacob's trouble is here. truth. The words of Yahweh by Shema Shai. Okay? And within that, the prophecy. Okay, we go into prophecy. We live in end time prophecy. That's why we focus on prophecy. Alright? But he said this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Okay, because part of the curses we were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth and these different heathen nations, the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. So we scattered in all nations. Okay, not just Israelites have to hear the word of the nation, but other heathen nations have to hear the word too. They got to hear their judgment. Just like 235 got to hear their judgment. Esau started with that devil, and the other heathen nations got to hear their judgment too. Alright, so once again, I throw back from the top, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness to all nations, and then the end shall come. Okay, and that end is going to come by the hands of our Lord and Savior Yahushua, along with the angels, in the midst of the World War III. Okay, so look up some words here.
Strong's G 3625 Oikumene. Oikumene.
Right here on the online of biblical usage, the inhabited earth. Okay, so the whole inhabited earth, the world, so the universe, the world, so Oikumene, at least I said, hey, this world has to be preached throughout the four corners of the earth for the witness of all nations. Like I said, we've been scattered throughout the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, been scattered throughout all the four corners of the earth in these different heathen nations. Okay, so I'm about to show you that this is happening. But how it happened, okay, which we're going to get into also in this lesson. By brothers going throughout the foot, by brothers going out to the highways and byways. Okay, and that's brothers who different cities throughout the whole earth. Okay, because we have brothers on in Europe, we have brothers in different countries. I'm speaking of Great Millstone, many other Israelite camps also, who pushing the word, As brothers, they have the 100% truth or not, the word is still being spread. Okay, but we're dealing with the true mineral Lord to elect. Those who have that 100% truth. Okay, of Yahweh by Shema Shai, which here at Great Millstone. Again, with our apostles, elders, and bishops, and men and women. Alright, so prophecy, we in God prophecy, the word is being out. So let me play this and then we'll I grab a couple of more precepts and that'll be it. It's like it's been long-winded. So let's get it.
I really began to ask myself, what is the root of this issue with black people? Like, is someone hiding something from us? Like the people who rule over us? Because I don't know, I'm getting like this feeling that it goes a lot deeper than we think, a lot more spiritual. Look what Deuteronomy 28 says. And the Lord will take you back to Egypt in ships by the way of which I said to you, you shall never see it again, and there you shall be offered for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one will buy you. Do you think it's possible that he says Egypt, he's actually talking about bondage and oppression? That when God says you are going to go back to Egypt. He's actually talking about returning to the bitter life of slavery and oppression. And when he says no one will buy you, do you think it means suffering will be absolute? There will be no one to rescue or redeem you from your captors? And that this warning is a punishment or a curse for turning away from God and breaking his laws. You see, because now when I go back to reanalyze everything about the slavery, about the blacks, about them being enslaved, them being oppressed, they kind of fit the description a lot more, the description of the Israelites in the Bible than those currently in the Holy Land. But this is just my theory, right? I'm just an outsider looking in. This is just my theory, my conclusion from, I don't know, reading the Bible and then looking back at history, real history, not just the history that we're taught in K through 12 here in America, in the United States. I don't know, am I getting close?
But not only that, I'll go on even further to say this, that the slave trade is actually connected to Deuteronomy 28, because the majority of the slaves that were brought to the Caribbean islands and brought to the Americas were Hebrew people, were people of Hebrew and Hebraic Israelite descent, if you will. And so if you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, it matches perfectly what happened to the Hebrew slaves, the black Hebrew slaves, during the slave trade. It just matches it perfectly.
You guys, you need to read some old books. Check this out. I got this book called American Antiquities and Discoveries in the West. It's by Josiah Priest. And this is a reprint from 1833. And it's got some really interesting details about who the Europeans encountered when they got to the Americas. This is stuff they don't tell you in school. And so Josiah Priest goes on to quote a professor named Rathenisk. And here's what he writes. The Americans could not have sprung up from a single nation because independently of the languages, their features and complexions are as various as in Africa and in Asia. We find in America white, tawny, brown, yellow, olive, copper, even black nations as in Africa. Also dwarfs and giants, handsome and ugly, flat and aquiline noses, thick and thin lips. That's pretty interesting, huh? It also goes on to say that in Florida, the Indians there and the Choctaws worshipped a god called Yehovah, or Jehovah, kind of like Jehovah. And as we're told, there wasn't a J in the ancient dialect, so kind of sounds like the god of the Bible. And that's really interesting when you consider that Christopher Columbus thought he landed in the land of Azareth, as prophesied by Esdras in 2nd Esdras. And this was the land where the 10 lost tribes of Israel were to travel to. So guys, he thought the Indians were Hebrews, part of the lost 10 tribes of Israel. History is way more interesting than we were ever taught.
The reason it matters that Jesus is black, yeah, I know what you're saying. It doesn't matter. It matters, bro. We stole an entire identity from these people. There was a race that was chosen by God, okay? When God was playing this Sims game, he chose a black character, okay? Because that most closely related and identified with his personality. He wanted to be humble. He wanted to come as a meek person. Bro, the entire Bible is a redemptive story about black people. From going from last to they're going to be first, bro.
A Gentile's confession.
And thank God my husband and I kind of looking sideways at each other. Boys, that we discovered how much it brings such joy to me. You don't even know. We didn't even know what to do with this information at first. What does this mean? But, Israel is a people, not a land. And the people in Israel are not the Israelites. The so-called African Americans are God's chosen people. I'm telling the truth. The truth is all throughout the Bible, all throughout history, all throughout DNA, all throughout just look up Deuteronomy. If you don't have a Bible, look it up online. It's easy. There's apps. There's no excuse. If you're watching this, you have access to the Bible. Do yourself a favor. Deuteronomy 28.
do I say this? The entire Bible is about black people. Not only was Jesus black, but every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude, okay? Even in the book of Revelation, when you get the vision of Daniel, he's describing someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair, and we've got the deep running water voice with the red eyes, and you guys, he's black. The Jewish people are black people, like Kanye was right. And those people yelling at the park dressed in purple about black people being the real Hebrew Israelites, they're right, okay? Like, anytime you see the word Hebrew or Israelite or Jew in the Bible, in your mind, you got to replace that with black person. So the whole Bible is going to make a lot more sense to you once you start reading it like that. But you need to let this get settled in your heart now before you get up there. So, I mean, they were literally whipping him on his way to get crucified, you guys. Crucifixion was a punishment, like, for slaves back then. And gladiators. And all the gladiators were black, too. Did you know that? Like, you guys, he was sold for 30 pieces of silver. That was the maximum amount of money that a slave could be sold for. Oh, just coincidence? Above his cross, it says INRI. They were like mocking him. They were saying it says this is the king of the Jews. They're saying, like, here's the king of the black people. Look what we did to him. Why does the KKK burn crosses, you guys? The racist KKK. It's just black people, rejoice. You are God's chosen people. Like, I mean, those are some big shoes to fill, but be honored, like, feel good about that. Like, how cool. Anyway, see you later. Jesus was black.
And how is this impossible? Because the word being out like that, man. And you have these heathens who paying attention to what's going on, man. They're doing their own research, and whether they heard the truth on the internet or whether they walked past the camp. You know, these heathens, we did their research, and now they making videos, and it's plenty more videos that these other heathen nations coming out and saying we are the true people of Yahweh and all this stuff. Okay, the true people meaning the Israelites, man. All right, so, and what I want to address, the point is I wanted to make the truth is getting pushed out through the preaching the gospel really on the highways and byways, and another way that the word is getting out is, like I said earlier, through the internet, these different social media platforms. Okay, which we have been listening for the truth. So I will start here again, man, in Matthew 24 and verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world, okay, the inhabitant of the world or the earth, or can mean, right? But a witness to all nations. All nations, man. You know, our people hearing the word, and these nations, and these heathens, hearing the word, okay? Once again, I believe the Edomites, he said, you know, who also been scattered throughout the four corners. Where do you think they're hearing this from? They're hearing the word. Who would say the four corners? She said. She say, well, she say the so-called, and she say so-called blacks, African Americans, who've been spread throughout the four corners. So this word is getting out, man. Okay? Hey, once again, Isaiah 11:54, my word won't go out far. This is paraphrasing. So once again, the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all the nations, and then the end shall come. Okay? That's why you see brothers out on the highways and byways. Okay? It's how this word is spreading like a wildfire. It's spreading. Everybody's talking about the Hebrew Israelites now. All right, so let's get this in Luke chapter 14. Can you drop down to verse? I get straight to the thing. Right there, verse 22. 23 says, and the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. Verse 23. And the Lord said unto his servants, now by Shema talking to his servants, the servants of prophets, right? Those pastors, the word goes who I read in Jeremiah chapter 3 and 15, according to his heart, the Lord has given them this 100% truth, right? So the Lord said unto the servants, the prophets, go out into the highways and the hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. Okay? And this truth is only for the elect. Okay, that's what we fishing for. Okay? That's what we compelling in, to be elect. Okay? Whether he's a prophet, a prophet, or whether or they part of the great multitude of the men, women, and children who have no father going to save them. So let's start with the prophets. Okay? And verse 24, and I say unto you, that none of those men were bid, which were bid, like it, shall taste of my supper. Now, that is true. His word. Okay? And this is happening. Right? This is end time prophecy. Okay? You go out on the highways and byways weekly. This camp, we go out, we set up to go out on the highways and byways 3 days. Sunday, we got Tuesday camp, got Sunday camp, Tuesday camp. Okay, and the Friday is the main camp. And also Sunday with our elders. So, hey, this is happening, man. End time prophecy. And it's showing. People making videos. The Edomites say them guys be in the purple, the yellow. He's speaking of IUIC. Even though they don't have 100% truth, but the God, hey, the word is getting out there, waking our people up, and letting the heathen know that we are the true children of the Lord. Man. Okay, so, and let's get this here, and I end with this here to go to Psalms 19, chapter 19, because it starts with us going on the highways and byways, spreading His word, and also the internet. Okay, the internet. Okay, which this is was prophecy that is going to happen. Also, I believe one of them Rockefellers can't recall his first name, but one of the Rockefellers was saying that the internet should never been made. Okay, but it wasn't for you; it was for the prophets. The Heavenly Father made the internet for the prophets to do the most, as I said earlier, to do the most heavy lifting of His word going out, the truth going out. Okay. Remember, we have to be spread throughout the four corners of the earth. That's why we have brothers in England preaching gospel. We have brothers in Jamaica. We have brothers in South America. Brother in Australia. Okay. So this word, hey, is out, man. They call on you, y'all, by himself. All right. This is His works. He's going. Let's get this here in Psalms chapter 19. You see the subtitle, it said the works of the word of Yahweh by Shema Shah. We call our Lord in this 10:44, but they call Lord by Shema Shah. So, get this here. Song of David said, the heavens, Psalm 19 and verse 1, the heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament shows his handiwork. What's that, man? Okay, them satellites. So this truth can be broadcast throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, that's how the word is getting out. Let's get that Romans chapter 10. Alright. Starting verse 17, it says, so then faith coming by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh by Shema Shai. Right? Verse 18 is the point. But I say, had they not heard? Yes, verily, truly. Okay, this is Apostle Paul speaking, by the way. Their sound, the prophets, okay, went into all the earth, and their words unto the end of the world. Read it again. But I say, had they not heard? Yes, verily, truly. Their sound, the prophets, went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. Okay? And what's doing it? The internet, man. Okay? The internet. Alright? Let's look up to the world here. That's how it's being spread throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay? Archimedes, once again, the whole inhabitant of the earth. Okay, the ends, the four corners of the earth. That's what, as I read again here in Psalm 19 and 1, the heavens declare the glory of the Most High, Yahweh by Shema Shai, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Right? So that's how the word is being spread by Esau put up on the satellite, and now this truth is being broadcast throughout the four corners of the earth through different social media platforms, mainly YouTube. Okay. And he says that also. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens, and these signs. The book, here's the point, the book shall be open before the firmament, and they shall see all together. Okay? And speaking of the internet, okay? We can go on YouTube, different social media platforms, and hear this truth. Alright? It was all part of prophecy. That's why the brother decided the video that, you know, it says, Esau, once again it says Esau paid good money for this truth to remain hid. He didn't understand prophecy. He created, there's a Father put in your spirit to create. The satellites to put up there. Both of these words come to the internet. Alright? Now read it again. Let's go back to verse 20. The latter part of it says the books shall be opened before their firmament, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans are the true Jews. Okay, and Esau ain't. The devil, that's why he's gonna come down with great wrath. Knowing that he has but a short time, people waking up and see the truth now. It's all over your whole body, Shalom Shalom. Alright? So once again, back in Psalms 119 and 1, the heavens declares the glory of the Most High Yahweh by Shalom Shalom, and the firmament showeth his hand. Verse 2, day unto day utter speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. And that's what's going on with video. Okay? These brothers, they constantly doing video. So when it's dark over here in the west, we got the brothers over there in the east, they preaching the gospel. And it was nighttime over there, we over here in the morning, and daytime over here, we preach the gospel. So this truth is going out non-stop. That's why they say day unto day. It's like a day unto day, utterly speech, and night unto night shows the knowledge. Okay, verse 3, and there is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. See that? It's not heard. So whoever have a brother over there in believe in London, do sign language. Okay? There's other brothers different tongues, you know. So hey, this truth is spread, man. It's not going out void. As I read earlier, man. It's prophecy, this part of prophecy. Alright, if this gospel is going to be preached throughout the four corners of the earth, alright, it's heaven's part of the word, man. So verse 4 says their line, speaking of the internet of things, okay, their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world, and them, and he set a tabernacle for the sun. That's Yahweh's son. Okay, Yahweh. Verse 5, which is as a bridegroom, Yahweh, coming to his chamber, is truth. And it's greater than through the prophets. Okay, the elect. And rejoice as a strong man to run a race. So, yeah, man, this prophecy, hey, is being fulfilled through us men on the highways and byways, and also on the internet, man. Using YouTube, preaching the gospel of Yahweh by Sinai Shai, and his word is getting out, and people see it now. It's just 2/3 of our people is not going to take heed. Okay? Due to a stiff-neck. Okay? And being proud, man, like the devil. But they were set up to be the 2/3 at the end of the day. Like it was predestined for us, the prophets, to be saved. It's predestined for 2/3 of our people to be destroyed, along with the devil, these heathens. Alright, but start with the prophets preaching this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth, whether we're on highways and byways, or whether the internet going to hell and yes to get this word out throughout the four corners of the earth. So I want to end with that. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying for those who have spiritual ears to hear, and spiritual eyes to see. Once again, go back to the elect of the nation of Israel, and it begins with the 144,000 men. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wakakodah. I'd like to give double honor unto the apostles, bishops, and elders, and great millstones,